This week in comic books over at DC, Wonder Woman gets a little nibble on her neck. Meow. Over in the land of Marvel, Devil Reigns come out issue number 2, and I don't have anything. I have nothing sarcastic to say about that book. It's actually pretty good. Over in the land of Independence, Rise of Dracula came out, and if you didn't hear about this book, there's a very good reason why. All those and a lot more comic books right after that intro. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? I'm Pocan Joe, and as always, you're super cool for swinging by. Love having you here. So let's dive in and talk about some comic books, some other things that are going on, and get through this together. All right, first off, we're going to start with Robin number 9 from DC. So the Lazarus monster thingy demon, right? It's out, right? And it's fighting everybody. And Robin's going to take it on himself, little Damien, right? And then he learns a lesson by the Force Ghost of Alfred Pennyworth. Seriously, that's what it reminded me of. Like a Star Wars, Phantom Ghost thingy. And it like gives him some advice, and he realizes he's got to get by with a little help from his friends, right? So he gets all the other fighters together, and they defeat the monster. All in all, it wasn't a bad series. I know a lot of people out there talking about it. Maybe they just don't like his attitude. Maybe they just genuinely don't like the writing in it. But for the most part, I found this to be an entertaining book at best. And I'm not even sure if this is the last issue of this run or if they're doing another arc. But where this ended and where it may pick up, we already know where it's going to pick up, actually. Somehow or another, Damien gets shot into the past, and he meets like a young Ra's al Ghul. His grandfather. I don't know if I'm really particularly interested in that, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe it will be the only DC book that week. All right, next we got Task Force Z. So this is interesting. So the team goes out to go get Deadshot, and Deadshot like lights up, right? The Red Hood, who we know to be the Red Hood, right? They bring him back together because they got magic woo bring back from death juice. Right? So they bring him back, and ta-da! Deadshot is on the team. No harm, no foul. You only shot me in the face. Okay, well, whatever. So the mission, of course, continues as they're trying to keep other people from getting this particular type of drug because it's sanctioned by the government. But we find out who Caspian is, the evil man in the box, or the guy in the background of the shadows. It's Two-Face. I thought that was an interesting twist, honestly, because I would have never thought to use Two-Face in this sort of capacity before. But for the most part, it's not that bad. And that was a pretty cool cover right there. I did enjoy that. Man, that's a lot of glare going on. I need to get the lights fixed in here. If you can't see, it's basically a hand coming out of a morgue's refrigerator. Okay, moving on. So Justice League came out this week. So what happened in this? Not a whole lot. This was actually kind of a boring issue. Basically, the Royal Flush Gang is back. If you don't know who they are, they've been around for like ever. They stole the Fortress of Solitude. Right? We open up with Leviathan trying to recruit them to do said things, and we know something else is going on in the background. Not a lot of information was given to this other than somehow or another these villains that are basically personification of playing cards stole the Fortress of Solitude. It's got me so messed up I'm slurring, and I'm just like that. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good things to steal that, but how do you steal an entire building when you're basically just a C-level group of villains? And this was the thing that's supposed to lift them up. I'll be honest with you, it's just a little too campy for me. Really wasn't digging it that much. And it's a forgettable story. That's probably the worst part about it. It's just forgettable. And they keep mentioning Superman's alien zoo in here like 3 times. And I'm like, why is that? Like, the guy literally has things that can destroy the world in there. Why are we stressing out about this stupid zoo? Whatever. It's just not that good. Alright, so DC versus vampires. This is funny, and this is what I was alluding to at the intro. So, as you know, or Green Lantern, is really a vampire. He killed the Flash, right? He's got to kill the Flash because, he's super fast and will eat everybody up. And he's got a very high metabolism, so if you turn him into a vampire, that's a whole nother nightmare. I thought that was a unique take on it, and that's some thought that was put into that. So, and Batman's on the case, right? He's trying to figure this out, and we're also trying to find the male version of the Wonder Twins. I hate the Wonder Twins. I just it's a horrible concept. I don't even know why they're around, but regardless, and he's trying to figure that case out. Wonder Woman kind of starts throwing some things together, lassos up old, Green Lantern there to make him tell the truth, and he's like, yeah. Nibble, nibble, nibble on her neck. I don't know why I find this so funny. I think it's the artwork in here that it comes off as campy seductiveness, right? In like the most cheesy way possible, but it works. So now she's a vampire. Wonder Woman, right? So as we slowly start methodically and slowly start going through turning various superheroes into vampires while all the villains have disappeared. Oh, we got to find out where the Wonder Twin boy is. Thunderlust. That's where that joke came from. Oh, God. Okay. So, Action Comics. I love Action Comics, and it kills me that I've missed an issue here or there. Timing getting to the comic book store. But that's the great thing about the story. It picks up, boom, right then and there. We are in a coliseum, think gladiators, right? And we got all of our little Superman and his little super authority group all chained up for display. The everything that the villains do in here is beautiful because it has to be a spectacle to the people, right? To show their dominance and their control over everything. And I absolutely love this serenade of verbiage as it goes through. And it's so smart. And this whole concept with chains aren't really enslavement. They're proof of you're worthy, and as you grade more, you'll grow stronger, and this whole thing, and then the whole concept of Superman just trying to have hope and bring hope in there. It's easy to sit there and speak of hope when you're perfectly fine and nothing's wrong with you and you're at your best. But after you've been beaten down by the thing that you're trying to stop and still speak of hope, that's a completely different thing. And that's what's going on in here as Superman sits in the cell trying to speak of this kind of stuff. And people are just like, dude, you got it handed to you. That can't be the way. So let's see where it goes. Definitely one character is not getting it is Midnighter in this. So that's interesting. That's going to be a little bit of a conflict. So yeah, this is definitely just, I know a lot of people speculate. They love playing in this kind of, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but this kind of fictitious market that has been created around comic books. I understand that. That is why you sell, trade, buy, all that other stuff. I highly would take this as a read. Just for sheer entertainment value alone, I think you enjoy, especially the dialogue in it. It's good stuff. I don't talk that highly of books normally, so just throwing that out there. All right, next, Swamp Thing, Green Hell. All right, so this is kind of weird. I don't know where they're taking this, and I'm not really sure if I'm on board yet. But I'm gonna get an issue too, because these are the kind of things that I'll drop really quick because they're super expensive, they're super odd size, they don't fit in a regular box. Things get weird, right? But every now and then there's a good read that pops out of these things too. So this takes place, I'm assuming, because it doesn't really clarify, but yeah, I guess it does. In the future, right? Think Water World. Walter? Why am I saying that? Water. That's it. World, right? The movie. So basically, there's, ruined or whatever. There's a guy that lives in a lighthouse. It's kind of mysterious. There's a little island of people. It's kind of like the top of a mountain. They get raided by pirates. A couple of people in it get tired of this crap. In the background, you have the elements, right? Speaking, the parliaments, I believe is what they call themselves. Like rot, the green, insects, whatever that one's called, right? These kind of other elemental forces that are like the green. And they're kind of like, hey, we need to do something here. These hairless apes have just done destroyed this world to the point to where we're not getting what we need out of this, so we just need to clean the slate, and we have to get the green to do it because of woo-woo rules that they have to follow, whatever, right? So they construct another negative version of Swamp Thing. It's starting to kill people. People don't know what to do. A couple of them jump on a boat, go across over to the lighthouse, and who's there? Of course, you can't have a Swamp Thing story anymore without John Constantine in it. So there's John Constantine, and I'm not hating on John Constantine, like really. But anyway, he's there. He conjures Alec. Alec. He's the original Swamp Thing. So he's in the picture now. And now we're going to see what ends up happening out of this. All in all, it's a good read. I just don't know if I'm interested in it, as weird as that is. Artwork's very detailed in it. I love the artwork in it. And this is written by Jeff Lemire, so all you Jeff Lemire fanboys out there that are on that, definitely jump on it. I would definitely say it's probably one of his better things I've read in a while. I'll give it that. So yeah, we'll pick up an issue 2. We'll see where this goes. If it starts getting all woo-woo, weird, you need to think this way. If you think that way, you're a bad person, like Jeff Lemire sometimes does. I'll probably drop it at that point. Okay, next. Timeless. I went with this cover. I don't normally go with oddball covers for a comic book, but I chose this. This is intellectually savage, is the best way I can put this. This is all an ode to Kang, by Kang, and technically from Kang. Right? That's the best way to think about this. We also get some glimpses of some other things that are going on in our little Marvel universe here, regardless of the timeline or whatever else. I love this concept. A professor of metahumans, is writing a book about, probably the best villain of all time, and he randomly chooses Doctor Doom. Surprise, surprise. Kang shows up. He's got a problem with that, and he's like, no, you need to come hang out with me. I'm all about the challenge. Now, what I liked about this is we can literally, if we take Kang out of the villain category and the hero category. And he's not an anti-hero. He's not any of that. He just is. And I loved that concept. That was mind-blowingly. He looks at you, he looks at the timeline and the things that you like and do the way you would look at an ant. Probably not paying that much of attention to it. In an overall scheme of things, it doesn't really matter if you step on it or not. Because he's all about the challenge at the end of the day. And I really enjoyed this. I like the challenge myself. So I could get behind that, could go above and beyond or accomplish something, right? I love this because he's not scared to get into the savagery where he hunts down a mammoth and kills it. And he's not too far gone where he can't go through the technological aspects of it either. So this was super good because we do run into a sort of Doctor Doom in here. I would argue probably a more powerful one than the one we know. It was basically Reed Richards with Infinity Stones in his eyes. I believe it was reality and time, like his eyes. That was kind of campy, but whatever. And he defeats him. Ta-da! Right? Defeats him. Now the guy has to kind of rethink his book and put Kang in there. I don't know if there's going to be an issue 2 of this. I didn't bother looking. They didn't really leave it on a cliffhanger per se. So I'm not really sure where this is going to go. I do hope we get some more of this though. Right? So yeah, definitely. Devil's Reign. I'm enjoying this. This is, you always hear the cliche, watch what you say, watch what you do, because it may come back to bite you. Right? Same goes for bad guys as it does for good guys, right? Because now the good guys, all the people they used to fight and stuff are now technically the law. Right? And that's a little bit of a problem. Luke Cage decides that, hey, I'm going to run for office because Tony Stark thought he would be a good candidate. Nah, Tony Stark, you just sit over there and you just pay for everything. It's pretty much what he was told. And he kind of offered too. But still, I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's see how this conflict. Hopefully there should be a conflict there. Imagine, if you will, you decide to run for office, right? You, watching this right now, you're running for some local thing, right? All of a sudden I show up and move and be like, nah, I'm a better candidate because whatever reason at that point, it doesn't matter. But hey, definitely contribute to my election because that's your worth, right? Oh, I hope a conflict comes out of that. Basically what he did. So yeah, heroes are getting thrown in jails. Tensions are mounting up. Will Skinfist has got huge plans for the future, and Doc Ock is like, yeah, I got a few plans of my own, which I like Doc Ock's plan because they're always involving other people. And we saw some people that it's going to involve in this. So yeah, and by the way, that cover, that was a B cover, right? Like that should have been, who is this? I bet you it's in Huntley. Yeah, okay. So yeah, good cover, good stuff. Again, not normally a Daredevil guy. It's not really a character I get behind, or a lecturer for that matter. But this is really proving me wrong, and I'm enjoying it. Next, my only independent this week is Rise of Dracula. So this is just nonsense, and I'm not even sure why it exists. We open up with a bunch of vampires that have taken over DC. They're shooting out propaganda, making things sound, the rioters sound like they're just out of control, crazy people, because the vampires are here to help you, because they're feeding homeless people. For some reason, there's a female Dracula running around helping people. This was in issue 1, but it didn't read like an issue 1, so I'm assuming that there's another, like, from volume 1, and you'd think you'd get a recap or some connective tissue there. You don't. It just drops you right into the middle of a very convoluted and weird story, and all you have is whys while you're reading the whole thing. You know how you avoid, getting a bunch of whys in your story, like why is this happening, why is that happening, who's this? You know how you stop getting that? Your editor does their job, because it's legitimately their job. So yeah, that's what happened there. All right, so what's going on around the community? Boom. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the YouTubes, I'm going to be over at Mr. Comic 89. I am in a debate, and this is people with godlike powers. I have Darkseid. My opponent has, you ready for this? The Flash. I guess they're going to argue the Speed Force. I should bring the formula that we did. Yeah, I'm going to bring the formula we did. All right, so we're going to clash it up, and we're each going to get some time, and you get to vote. So definitely check that out tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's New Year's Eve. I know. So if you're not busy, and you're not with friends and family, you're just kind of hanging out, definitely come over and spend a little bit of time with us. We'd greatly appreciate it. Also, at the end of January, I'm back on In the Mix, and I'm spitting hot fire, son. I'm bringing a rap. It's almost done. I've been working hard on this one, so we're going to have a little fun with that. I believe I am going against White Tiger. Yeah, he's another YouTuber. He's pretty cool. So, yeah, that'll be fun, because, yeah. So we're going to do that. Other than that, guys, I don't really have much else going on. So definitely check out the latest from the Evil Lair project and Bill's video. That will be right up here. And, of course, videos here for stuff. All right, guys. Bye.